Reality. No one faces consequences anymore. Reality. What's going on, everybody? James here, RedemptionAgency.com. 22 years selling full-time on eBay. So what's going on? Reality. Nobody faces consequences anymore. Reality. I don't know why I made that up today. Probably because it's true. It's true. Nobody faces consequences anymore. Oh, man. How did yesterday turn out for me? Well, I didn't have any sale. I had like 2 sales for, 8 hours after turning my promotions off. I can't do that. I can't go that long without sales. I just can't. Especially during the day, during the week. So I had to turn them back on. I have no choice. I have to play the game. My store does not work without promoted. It just doesn't. So what I decided to try to do different, my sales ended. Had my sales running for a month, 30% off. So I have not turned them back on. I ended up trying something different. I gotta see how it's gonna show up, because for some reason my coupons do not show up anymore. Not my coupons, but my sales. Like when you search eBay and sometimes you see the red line that says, oh, buy 2 or more items, get free shipping. Mine doesn't do that. It used to, then it stopped, then it would do it, then it stopped. I called it in, then it did it for a little bit, then it doesn't do it again. So yeah, so when my items are up, it doesn't show there's any call to action, to make somebody click on the item. You have to actually click on it to see it. So I decided to run an extra 30% off 2+ items instead of 30% off of just a sale, and see if that can up my quantity or not. Some people, when you search eBay, they will have those red flags that pop up. But mine has always been hit and miss, mostly miss. I see red flags on some hats there. I like the list view better, personally. Let me put in like something that I know have something that should pop up. So since I turned my promotions back on, I type adjustable Cardinals baseball cap. I've got the first 4 slots. Go figure, haven't seen that in forever. And then after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more, I have the next 3 slots. That's pretty damn good placement. And then I have some down further that are not promoted. And then it looks like I got another 4 in a row promoted. And then some more not promoted. That's pretty damn good placement. I'm surprised. But then I always had that one theory, like, if you put your stuff on sale, does it take the value of your store down? I mean, it does monetarily when you look at the price amount of your store. But I wonder if that has any effect with the algorithm. If eBay's pushing stores that are bigger, per se, have more value, does that number come into play? I've never seen this. And I didn't even put it on pre-owned this time. Interesting. I don't know. So yesterday I had like $275. So when I turned it off because I had like 3+ hours with no sales. So I turned my promotions off. And I'm like, I tried to stick my ground, and yeah, I only lasted a few hours. I suck. I know. I get it. I suck. But this is my full-time business. I'm a failure if I fail. Somebody said, well, it doesn't make sense if your wife makes so much money, blah, blah, blah. Something's a red flag here, or some crap they said. I'm like, well, first off, you don't use personal money for business. That's called a failed business, first and foremost. You don't do that. You only do that in needs of if you're borrowing money like on a credit card, but instead you borrow it from yourself, and then you pay yourself interest back and stuff. So basically, you're being the loan to the business. So, and that's what we used to be when we started the business. But now I look at that as a fail. So, because you don't take personal money to pay business with. So, but yeah, I'm too, I've got to pull my weight, right? So I have to do what I have to do, no matter what other people say. So I had 275. And I didn't have sales for 3+ hours. Turned them off. Then I had 5 sales in 30 minutes. Just out of the blue. Then I went, I don't even know, 7 or 8 hours with like 2 sales. And they may have been just payments from previous sales. I didn't even pay attention. So, and then I had like $275 going on like, 8 p.m. or whatever. I'm like, all right, flip them back on. So then I ended with $400. So $125 after I flipped them back on. So almost $400 yesterday. This morning we are at going on 9:30. I'm at $63. So down 5.4%. Let me look at October and see how it. Well, with yesterday's crappy day, I'm sure it didn't end well. Was I even up or even? So compared to the prior month, so October was $17,223, down 2.2% compared to September. So how do you go down in the fourth quarter? Only eBay can answer that question, and they'll probably answer it wrong. Compared to the same month last year, $17,223, down 30% from last year. So the economy, I would expect 10 to 12 high end. Because like I said, people look for cheaper dollar things when the economy is bad. I have cheaper dollar things. My price per item was up 6.3%. My number of items sold down 34%. So Cost of goods, 48.5, so keeping it below 50. I think that's a topic today. Like, one thing why I kind of switched from using a credit card for my postage, switched over to eBay. One is to get the card gone and complete, because when it's out of sight, it's out of mind, right? So numbers can get out of hand real easy if you're not paying attention to them. And then if sales aren't where they should be, then there's a whole nother angle there, right? Sometimes by the time you react, it's too late. You're already buried and you don't know how to get out of it. That's how a lot of businesses fail. They don't pay close attention to details. They don't pay attention. They don't even know their numbers. And by the time reality hits them, it's too late. So that's one reason I kind of liked shifting over to the eBay shipping, is because I can see my exact costs. Now, this does not include what I would pay for an item. But that being said, most of my items, 99% of the items are paid for. So I don't have to worry so much about that. But a kind of a rule of thumb is always like a third, a third, a third. But the better way to break it down to you is 50-50. And for me, that's 50% costs, 50% profit. And by costs means how much you paid for the item, the fees on the item, the time it takes to box the item. Is it something quick, goes in a baggie real quick? Is it something you got to spend 15 minutes building a box for? All those things go into the cost of your item. So if you say you find a $5 item, it's selling for $15 online, say $19 with shipping. Is that item worth buying at that price? What do you think right now, without me going into detail right now? $5 item you found, is it worth selling for $15 plus shipping? $19 free shipping, however you want to look at it. Is it worth that? Well, here's what you take in consideration. Where are you buying this item? Is it from a thrift store? If it is, chances are that thrift store has no tax, so it is $5. Are you buying it retail arbitrage? Okay, do they accept your tax-free paperwork? Do you even know what that is? Okay, say you're going to pay tax on it. Well, there's tax there. So now your $5 item is $6 or whatever the tax rate is, right? But let's just say it's $5. Okay, if you sell it for $19, how much is your eBay fees? Let's just call it an even 20% to be easy cheesy. That would be your 10 eBay fees, 10 promote fees. So 20% of $5 is $1, right? But there's shipping. eBay puts fees on the shipping cost, and they put it on the tax. So it's not 20% of $15, it's 20% of $19 and whatever the tax rate is from the state that they're buying it from. So we're already at $20. 20% of $20 is $4. So now that $5 hat has cost you $9. Now, if you're not into the volume game, you want to keep that number farthest away from 50% as you can. I'm like in the middle of the volume game. I like to keep mine right at under 50. Some companies, if they're doing 1,000 items a day or whatever, they can afford to go higher than that because they're doing volume. So say you're not doing volume and you're trying to even just keep up with my 50-50 thing. So you already got $9 into this hat in fees. You need to at least sell that hat for $18. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that means if you put up for $15.99 with $4 shipping, you can't go under $14 for that hat. That would be your 50-50 split. Or whatever item you bought. I think hats because that's all I do is hats. So then it comes down to, okay, is it something that can be shipped super quick? Just throw it in a box, throw it in a mailer, and go. Or do you got to spend 15 minutes boxing it? Well, then there's another add-on to that $9, 15 minutes of your time. What is that worth? Is that worth another $10? I don't know. So is that worth another $1? That's where I like to keep it 50-50. And of course, I want to keep it as far away from that 50 as possible. The farther away you are from it, the more profit you have for your pocket, obviously. So that's the way I kind of look at it. Now, if you have a lot of, say, business debt somehow, whether that's depending on the percentage that it takes every month. Like I have storage lockers, cell phones, and stuff like that. So technically, I'm going to be over 50% because if you include that within the selling cost, on one item, it's a small fraction. So it might be right about. But if you have to say you've got, you use, that's where I kind of break it down to the 30-30-30. 33% is 33% with the costs of the item, 33% with profit, and 33% with the bills. So 50-50 is a lot easier to manage because then you can always divvy up that 50% in your head. Okay, 25% goes to a bill, 25% goes in my pocket, type of thing. So it's easier to keep it simple. But that 25 is better off at 33 is my point. But I don't even know what I just said made sense. I don't even remember what I just said. I'm just floating today. I got a lot to get done today. I'm leaving for vacation Saturday morning, so it is Wednesday morning. Got to get a lot of laundry done. Haven't even packed or nothing yet. I got to disconnect the pool before it freezes before I leave. I've got to get my mailing supplies down here from in the hallway. I got a lot to do. So I'm just floating today. Not much thought. Not much thought at all. But yeah, keeping all my selling costs right here in front of me, it keeps me accountable. It's in my face. I know it. Say if this stuff wasn't in my face, would I be like, say before when I tried 25%, knowing now it didn't work, but say it did work, 25% for promotion fees. That number would tell me, no, don't do that. Yes or no, depending on, the items I sell, obviously. But how much you sell an item for, basically. Your average per item is, hugely dictated in that when it comes to compared to shipping costs and fees. So it's nice to have that number right in front of you so you don't lose control of anything. You don't make decisions without thinking. I guess that's my whole point. Having the numbers right there, being accountable, and you won't make dumb or rash decisions that you shouldn't have made, that are only going to lead you down a hole that it's going to be very hard to get out of. That's the first thing you want to avoid. It's putting yourself backwards. Unless that's part of your game plan, like it was for me way back when. Which is coming in real handy right about now, since I don't have to source to get merchandise. So, come in handy. Hotmail updated their layout. Hotmail Outlook. Now to select to delete everything in your box, you gotta go all the way to the right, hit select, come all the way back, hit the box, and then hit empty folder. Used to it was all right there. Now you gotta go. Those little steps irritate me because they take up time. Time is money. That little extra milli of a second times 20 times a day adds up. All right. Let's see what sold. So we got one Posh order sold for $12. And that is Dedham hat. Sold for $12. I thought I was going to have another blank day yesterday until the hat sold overnight. I'm not sure what I ended on Poshmark. I haven't found a way to figure out what you did last month on Poshmark yet. So should be right about 1,000 though. I was hoping for 1,200, but I've been slacking on cross posting. Trying to get this organizing project stabilized. And got to get a routine down because I've been slacking on listing and like even cross posting because of this organizing project. So I got to get a rhythm down. So I'm going to try to get that at least figured out today also, so that when I get back from vacation I can hit it hard, since I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of new stuff in the truck, because that's how you write off the trip on vacation, is a business trip. You got to buy stuff. You got to buy the stuff. Alrighty. So I got 12 items to ship out. And some of this has been paid, this older stuff. I got one to Australia. And that's it. All right. First, I've got a pair of women's Levi jeans, 529 Kirby, skinny leg, sold for $10.50, headed to Texas. Probably won't do a live today since I have so much to do, and I'll probably just be all over the place. But at 7 p.m. Central Time, the second video for the sold business comes out. That last one's like well over 1,000 views, well, about 1,100 views. Let me do some questions and comments since I haven't yet. Dude, I will tell this with the whole intention of helping. Have you really give a thought of starting getting... Okay, is it me or is it the typer? Have you really give a thought of starting getting better items? Items are not flooded by thousands at any given second. Yes, you will pay more for goods, but you will get better sales, less sales, but for more money. Well, if you knew my situation, you would know why I am and where I am and what my history is. So yes, when I do thrift, I do get better items, for the most part. Still can't pass up those foundation material items, though. Let's see. I can relate. I do the exact same thing, and my advice to my own self is always to chill the hell out, calm down. I know that I have no patience. I don't either. And I will sit there and stare at the screen all day thinking, yeah, that's me. It just drives me nuts. It'd be easier if I just could ignore it. Trying to figure it out over here too. I keep asking myself, do I think eBay, economy, whatever it is that's affecting sales, will that end in the near future? In a year, 2 years? Do I just need to hold on and wait it out? Do I now need to double my listings in order to make what I used to make? Would that even work? These are all the same questions I ask. Do I need to change what I am selling? Do I just need to lower my prices more? I just don't know. And it's so frustrating. 100% it is. The thing is, it's not the items. At least for me, it is not the items. I think Sunday proof was reaffirmed my 20-year history of the 22 years. That is not the items. That's all the other BS that's going on at the same time is just a huge cluster. So I've got to wind down and stop thinking about it so I can enjoy vacation. Is what I need to do. Because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to enjoy vacation. I have to stop thinking business and start thinking relax, fun, sightsee, view, whatever. 2 blank hats. You really do list everything and sell them. If that doesn't motivate people to list, I don't know what would. You are the best, James. And that's not a one-off either. I sell a lot of just blank hats. It's camouflage, but it's still blank. Yeah, and I sold 2 yesterday in a lot. Somebody came in and bought 2 blank hats in a lot yesterday, so. I can't believe you got a new car in this economy. It was time for me to do the same, and I ended up buying my lease because the buyout price was set in stone in 2020 and was way cheap. I'm doing everything to get out of the banks and stay there. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it without I'll come back and read more. I'll go back and forth. But, yeah, I'm normally used to like 3% or less on my car loans. So I just made sure that it wasn't over 5.9 because that's pretty much the lowest you can get right now with perfect credit. So I wasn't going to pay over 5.9. And thankfully, I was able to put a big chunk down. So my car payment is still technically the same as it was with the old car. So, and that money was just kind of sitting there anyway. We're going to invest it, but then we liked the fact that it was just cushion, because we've never had that kind of cushion before just in a bank account. So it was kind of cool. Just it alleviated a lot of pressure and stress and worry, knowing that we have X amount in the bank account for the first time, and taking a chunk of that out and putting it on the down payment of the car didn't change it. Wasn't like a drastic amount to compared percentage wise. Almost 20% of it, only like 20% of the account. So it's still a big number that you don't have to worry about. So anything, but it still made the car payment the same. I always look at cars as, even though I've only leased once, to me, a car payment's like a house payment. You're going to have it probably the rest of your life, no matter what. At least I'll have car payments probably longer than I'll have a house payment, just because I like cars. So for me, a car is just like a rental thing every day, because I always change every year or two. So I likes to drive my cars. Like, that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most, is driving the new car on vacation. That's what I'm looking forward to right now. Next up, we got a Boatman's Bank bag. That sold for $21, headed to Texas. Texas. I just packaged up a cassette, sold for $3.50. Headed to Brooklyn, New York. But no, $21 to Texas. What is this? Texas, Brooklyn. North Dakota, Colorado, New York, Washington. Okay, North Carolina, Kentucky, Texas. I think that's another thing that's still not, I don't know if it's not, maybe it's just I don't like it with eBay. And that just seems like the demographic, like certain things. You mix that with the bad search engine, and I think that's where a lot of the problems are coming from. Like, say you're in California, so they're only going to show you things closest to California, right? And normally it would show your item in Missouri, but maybe it's not, because the search is flooded with so many things that are not related to your search. So that puts your item, which may have been on page 1 before, may put it on page 4 now. If that makes sense. Because there's so much just unrelated junk coming up in people's searches now. That stuff that does kind of match, but maybe further away, maybe getting pushed further in the search, because it's pulling up more junk that's around you as opposed to more items. See, that's the thing. The internet's supposed to bring the world together, and it feels like everything that's being done is pushing everything further apart. From communication between humans to items being shipped. We've got these Kohan shoes, sold for $20, headed to Brooklyn. What happened with, like, there's more, I guess maybe that is it. There's power in unity, whether it's people or monetarily. And guess who wants to control both of those? It's not us. So that could be a reason. Of course, we can get into conspiracy theories like that. But I won't. But chances are it's probably really not a conspiracy theory, at least not the money and the power part. Whether it's related to an eBay search algorithm, that's when you have to dig deep. Got a St. Louis Blues necktie. And it sold for $15, headed to Grand Forks, North Dakota. I'm worried about my baby girl when I'm gone. I told the boys they got to give her lots of attention. She's never been by herself while I'm gone. There's at least another puppy. We got a women's Guess t-shirt. Sold for $12.60, headed to Colorado. I've used my puppies for reasons to cut vacations early. By like a day. Be like, are we really going to do anything tomorrow? Why don't we just start heading home now? Type of thing. Or makes me drive instead of like stopping somewhere overnight, just to drive straight through so I can get back to my puppies quicker. I'm going to try to turn that off this trip. We got this unbranded women's. Here's another typically blank unbranded hat too. Sold for $7, headed to New York. New York, New York. I can go into one of these. What is absent here is like media. I had one cassette. It's pretty odd. We got Tinkerbell hat. Sold for $15, headed to Washington. That's why I think I'm trying this. I gotta remember to take this on vacation so I can, if I go into thrift stores, I can record. But so I can get more, not counting offers, get more dollar per item. So at least I'll at least stick to that while I'm on vacation. We've got an Under Armour hat. I sold for $8, headed to North Carolina. I think between today and tomorrow, I'm gonna try to record enough videos for the Sold Business channel. On this channel, I'll probably just, whatever I film on vacation, I'll probably upload onto here. Whatever that will entail. SCAG power equipment hat. Sold for $10, headed to Louisville, Kentucky. Did I pass that? Oh no, that's the international item. That blank camouflage hat. Leslie. Just gotta chill. Next up, we got Daffy Duck. That sold for $6, headed to Eagle Pass, Texas. A lot of Texas. Maria. Trying to chill, slow my thinking down. Because if I don't start getting in vacation mode now, I won't be in vacation mode till the middle of next week. Print labels. So chill. Gonna go to Dollywood this time, see the Christmas lights. Never been to Dollywood. I wish I could ride rides, but I'm not gonna chance my back. Not gonna chance it. Not worth it. So just take in the fall leaf visuals, the autumn visuals, the Christmas light visuals. I'll use visual stimulants as opposed to adrenaline stimulants. Davis. Thomas. Eliza. And I have fucked up. I fucked up bad. I fucked up real bad. Who's Eli and where's that at? Eli was the jeans. That is the jeans. And who's Eliza? No, Eliza was the jeans. Eli was the cassette tape, which I missed. How did I do that? How the hell did I do that? Wow. Good thing I didn't push down very hard on that. All right. How the hell did I miss it? Oh, see, I'm not paying attention. All right. Thankfully, not a big mistake. How did I throw that in there without putting a sticker on it? Guess I'll have to watch the video back and see what the hell I was doing. And make sure Avis got the shoes. That's right. Drew got the... That's right. That's the bank bag. Thomas. Yep. Okay. We're good. Oh, I didn't sleep well last night either. Solar hub. So I'm just kind of out of it. Out of it, if you will. And sold for $17. We got this going to Australia. And nothing is sold during this video. End of day. So I had 2 internationals yesterday, 1 this morning. Where do I get back to? There it is. Scan forms. Generate. Let's see. I appreciate your content and I hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I had 2 weeks of horrible sales. I've been selling 20 years. I just stay consistent with listing and messing around with listings. I promoted a low rate on about 30% of my listings. Finally corrected, and my sales are back to normal. Definitely side issues. Search is weird. Search is the most jacked up thing right now. Well, I don't know about the most. One of the biggest. How about that? One of the biggest. Anxiety can be very irrational. Having to cut back or tighten the belt doesn't mean you have nothing. It means you're protecting your future and what you do have. If you have a roof over your head, food, and you're able to keep the lights on, you're blessed. Yep. Now we know you have much more than that. Now we know you have much more than that. It's impossible to make the numbers work, but most times with some adjustments you can. I've had one sale in 3 days. Your stock is all paid for, and you've been doing this 22 years. You are averaging 500 a day, but only just getting by. Surely your overhead can't be right. Well, the overhead is, like I said, is part of my payroll too. I take a good amount of payroll, but as I should. I've been doing this for 22 years, and if things were the way they should be, everything would be fine with my payroll. So all the bills are getting paid. I just had to cut my payroll by 3 months in half to make up for 2 years. Now, that's nothing for me. It's nothing. And maybe I overblew it a little bit in yesterday's video by feeling the way I felt, but probably so. But like I said, more of the stuff is based, my feelings, they're more deep-rooted in what they're doing to other people, what they're doing to you guys and who don't have the volume. And that's just the sickening part. And so that just feeds up and just adds to, I guess, whatever I'm feeling, and kind of maybe makes it feel like I'm blowing, not feeling, but maybe it projects me to blowing my things out of proportion. So I just got to start like I said in yesterday's video, just start readjusting my thought process. It's just, it's harder to do when you go from selling 70 to 100 items a day, and my lowest day in the past 30 days was 13 items. How do you go from 100 items to 13 items and not get upset about it, when it's nothing that you did? And the only thing you did was increase your inventory, where you were hoping to get over 100 items per day, or have 100 more consistent, if you will. So when now 55 items is a good day, when before 100 items was, that's 50%. Taking a 50% slash in something when you didn't cut back 50% in the work part of it, it's a hard pill to swallow, for me anyway. So it is what it is, I try to be open about it all. So, and everybody reacts to things differently. Everybody walks a different path. Everybody has different reasons. And instead of judging those reasons, they upset me when your reasons are, upsetting you, if you will. So when it's something that I don't feel you're necessarily doing. Not that your feelings upset me. It's the fact that what's being done upsets me. So. But I got to put all that out of my mind so I can enjoy vacation. So if you're seeing this video, I might not even upload this video, the mood I'm in. So if you're seeing this video, I've decided to upload it. Anyway. But yeah, I think trying to realize that I pay myself a good amount to do this, and taking that step back in the payroll department to get caught up feels unfair, because it's not 100% on me. How about that? If it was 100% on me, then I will gladly accept the blame. But what is 100% on me is how I let it affect me and how I react to it. That's 100% on me. So it may look pathetic in the eyes of a viewer, because, well, what are you complaining about? You still get to take payroll, type of thing, you know. Where coming from me, it's, I had to cut my payroll for 3 freaking months because of this crap. But then on top of it, thinking about what it's doing to the person that's judging me because of mine, because they might be in a worse situation. But then you got to take into consideration everything else too. Have they worked 12 plus hours every day for 22 years? You know? So before you judge, take all of the facts into the equation, because everybody's equation is different. That's why I judge nobody, because I have no clue where you've been, where you are exactly, where you wish to go. All those are factors. All those factors affect today's mood, today's mode, today's motivation, today's feelings, today's thoughts. They are what makes you you. So how do I best utilize and what makes me me and use it to my advantage? Well, one way is by expressing whatever the hell comes to my mind, because that lets me get it out of my system so I can clearly think. And that's why I am at this place in my I'm back in this place in my life where, like, people making comments on YouTube or whatever, or Facebook, wherever, don't affect me, because when you're mentally down or hurt in some way, whether that's stress or trauma from a loved one dying, whatever, your mind's in a weaker state. So things will affect you, be more drastically, can drastically affect you more. Where now that my mind's back into that stable mode, like, instead of reading something and maybe taking it a little bit personal, I can read it and I'm back in the clear head where I'm like, I don't know where that person is with their life, type of thing. So who am I to judge or care what they say if they're attacking me, or whatever, type of thing. Hopefully they feel better after they do it. And hopefully that ain't their whole makeup where they only feel better when they do attack people. Because that is a sad existence. But people could be having a phase, having a day, having a week, having a month. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is their life. I mean, who we were in our teens, is usually nowhere near night and day where we are in our 50s or 40s even, or even 30s. I mean, a lot of these kids you see doing things they're doing today, in 20 years, they're going to probably look back on themselves and go, God, was I that clueless? Hopefully, because I have, and you're not growing or learning as a person if you don't look back on your younger years and go, man, I was clueless. Because you get experience and you learn crap over your life. That's what it's all about. So I hold nothing against anybody. I usually forget about it within the next minute. Because when you have a life, no matter what that life is, it's much easier to move on from things, not hold grudges or not have hate, because you got other things to do. You got personal things to worry about. So, anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. And we'll see you all in the next video. Later.